Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet. Lakers driven by your Southern California Honda dealers, Chris McGee, Derek Fisher. Big game, James Worthy. We got Mike Bresnahan. Allie Clifton will be joining us later. Mike Trudell is out in Milwaukee. He will cover the post-game show. Lakers lose their first game of a 5-game road trip to the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks. Big night for Giannis. We'll get into that in a few moments. Lakers, who kept it close all night long and battled, guys, went 0 for 11 from 3 in the fourth and also missed their last 5 threes in the third. So 0 for 16 to end that game from 3. They were right there to win that one. Big game, James. Just didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Lakers played way better than they have been. Third quarter wasn't, repetitive like we seen the last time. They came out with a strong third. Kept it close. Most of the game, I think, maybe gave up some second possessions a little bit too much, but there was just too much Giannis and too much Middleton, pretty much. You're talking about a championship team that hadn't been playing great. They get all their players back. Fish talked about, how they don't need to recapture their continuity. They already had it, and they showed it tonight. It was a good game by both teams, I thought.
Yeah, good competitive game. I mean, so far this season, this would be a quality loss, right, based on what we've seen. Like, to go on the road, play against the defending champions with Giannis on the court, Chris Middleton on the court. Like, they fought, did a lot of really positive things. And then, of course, like, now you have some details and some things that you need to clean up, right? Finishing quarters, finishing halves. Teams make adjustments, right? Milwaukee went to the zone a little bit, disrupted the Lakers in the first half. The Lakers made adjustments at halftime, right? So we showed that shot chart. Giannis was 10 out of 11 at the rim.
Had their best third quarter of the year, I think.
Right, yeah. And they were putting 2 on the ball and pick and roll. Giannis rolling right down the middle, getting it back, going to finish. Second half, Lakers looked to switch that pick and roll a lot more. And I think that really cut into Milwaukee's production. But not being able to shoot the ball, 0 for 16 from 3 to finish that half, that's tough to recover.
Tough.
Yeah, not much you can do about that. I mean, you figure they make at least 2 or 3 of those, and this is a different game. Maybe we're in overtime right now. I'm okay with this game for a couple reasons. Does not have that feel of like the Minnesota game where they got crushed in that third quarter. Doesn't have the feel of the Chicago game where it seemed like they were down 15 the entire time. I thought the Lakers' third quarter was a good step in the right direction. And as far as a road trip, this is a good first game. The Milwaukee team we saw tonight, they welcomed Chris Middleton back. He's been out since October. They're starting to get their healthy guys in place. That could be the Lakers on Friday in Boston, James. Maybe LeBron's back. So maybe the Lakers, what we saw from Milwaukee tonight, that could be them in just 48 short hours.
Needed more paint presence, though, big game, James. And you look at that 0 for 16 stretch to end the half, the second half, 5 in the third, 11 in the fourth. Not enough presence in that paint, especially when that game was close.
Yeah, I mean, they
wasn't a lot of ball movement either.
Well, yeah, the ball movement wasn't as good. It was good at times when they got some shots that knock them down. But, I think Milwaukee learned from the Lakers' previous games, like they weren't going to let, Anthony Davis do anything close to the bucket. And I don't think they got enough, cuts in the paint. They got a couple in there. I think Monk got one. So, yeah, when AD's not there, you're not getting the lobs to Dwight or DeAndre. You got to find other ways to penetrate that, and I don't think it was done tonight. They didn't do a good job of that.
When I look at AD's line and I see the 9 for 15 with 18 points, he had 8 in the first, he had 8 in the third, he had 0 in the second, only 2 in the fourth. I mean, who is it on, Fish, to get him more? What does it have? Does he need to be more aggressive? Does he need to attack more? Do the Lakers need to run more action to get him that ball lower where he can do some work and then that ball can kick around?
Yeah, I think it's a combination. I don't think anybody on the team or roster doesn't want Anthony Davis to touch the basketball. Coaches and from the first player, down to the bottom. I think so from coaching staff, whether it's coming out of timeouts and different sets that they may have drawn up, but also on the floor. Players are on the floor to make plays, read and react to situations. And those are things that the Lakers will continue to learn about when they need a bucket. Where do we need to go? Who do we need to play through? But Anthony Davis is seeing a lot of traffic when he has the basketball.
Yep.
So the Lakers are going to have to find a way to make sure he's involved through continuity offensively. Nobody in the league is throwing the ball to somebody free throw line extended and below. and watching him post up and back down.
It's not
and then playing
1995
off it.
anymore? No.
That's not happening anymore. So it's not as simple as just come down and give it to AD. A lot of what we've seen
That's
from
why the
Anthony
spacing
Davis
has to
is,
be,
the spacing is there, but a lot of the dominance of Anthony Davis in a Lakers uniform really came from elite defense.
Yeah.
And then AD was the first one down the floor. They're out in transition. He's getting offensive rebounds off drives and drop-offs from other people. The lob plays in terms of, guys going to the rim and finishing. So it's not as simple as come down and just throw it to AD. I think the Lakers will continue to need to lock in defensively, which in the second half they did tonight. 64 points by Milwaukee in the first half to finish with 109. That's a great defensive second half. But AD, just in terms of getting to the free throw line, I've never seen the Lakers not get to the free throw line as much as they have so far this year. 24 attempts for Milwaukee, 12 for the Lakers.
12 for the
That's
Lakers.
Unusual.
0 for AD. He should have had one. Giannis fouled him on that dunk, but wasn't called, but only one. He had 0.
And that helps get your defense set when you can get to the free throw line.
And AD normally does okay in this matchup tonight. The edge clearly to the Greek freak. I want to talk about Talen Horton-Tucker, guys. I want to go back to 2019, the draft. The Lakers bought into the second round, bought this pick from Orlando, 46th overall, gave up a couple million for this kid, took a gamble on him. It was more of a measurements thing. They saw him at Iowa State, and then they saw, he's got this 7-foot 1-inch wingspan. They saw he can hit some threes. Look what he's done in his first 3 games with his team since getting over that thumb injury. There was a lot of talk about Alex Caruso this past weekend, coming into Monday's game against Chicago. Laker fans kind of missing their fan favorite there. The Lakers made a choice during the offseason. They said, we're going to go with THT. We figure we're going to pay him the $10 million a year and not Caruso. THT has a pretty high ceiling, and we're starting to see what the Lakers front office was thinking. This guy not only looked good scoring, he's very comfortable shooting outside, which is unlike really his first 2 years in the league. I thought he's a hustle guy, too. There he is diving for a loose ball in the last minute there, forcing a jump ball. I like what I see from this kid. This is something the Lakers can build on. They don't have a lot of youth. He'll be 21 on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no question. I mean, Tucker's definitely a talented kid, and I'm glad to have him back. He's a unique player.
From the tip, and he imposes will on the inside, and that's what makes him special.
There's something about winning that ring in that Finals MVP too, because remember he had won back-to-back MVPs, and he even said I'm not LeBron yet. I almost like, of course he wants the award, but I haven't done it yet. So now that he has that, he plays like it, and like you said, the team had been in a slump, not playing well, lethargic. Not on a night like tonight. He comes out and says, I'm the best player on the floor, and I'm going to show you.
No question. I mean, everything you said is absolutely true, Geeter. And, when you win a championship, the Bucks are on the map now. He's not thinking about the one he won last year. He's thinking about what LeBron has done, what Steph Curry and those guys have done, and he's looking to make known that he wants to win one this year. I mean, he makes his presence known right away. I don't see him smile too much. He's serious as hell all the time. And when he attacks, I wish, AD has his own style, but Giannis goes right away. And he goes with force and, some physicality when he goes to the cup. And so he's a unique player. Not too many people can guard him. Like I said, he has a heart that says, I'm here and I'm going to dominate. He's dominating, Brad.
Yeah, he deserves a lot of credit, too, for staying with a small market team.
Yeah.
Any team in the NBA just a couple short years ago would have opened up whatever vault they needed to make sure they could sign this guy. He said, no, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to try to make this happen. He deserves a lot of credit for that. Geet, his Euro step down the lane is ridiculous. I feel like he covers 20 feet.